Hello everybody and welcome to another 5-minute tech tip with Dave Casuto. In this 5-minute tech tip, we are going to talk about section breaks in Microsoft Word, one of the most least understood of all the features within Word. So when would you want to do section breaks? I can think of probably at least two reasons. Number one, you may want to have one page that the orientation is landscape, and you might want to have another where the orientation is portrait. If I were to try to change this right now, where I wanted to have, let's say, this page as landscape, you can see that this changes, but then so does this change, and so does this change. I don't want that, so I'm going to go ahead and undo that. I only want this page, for example, to be landscape, where the other ones I want to remain portrait. Okay, so that is where section breaks come in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a blank page because I want to bring in a map into this. So I'm just going to do Control-Enter, or just note that you can bring in a regular page break this way. You can do it that way, or Control-Enter, totally up to you. All right, now I have this here. This page here I want to make into a landscape page separate from the rest of these. So how do I do that? I'm going to go over here to Layout, and I'm going to choose Breaks, but I'm going to come down to here to the Section Breaks section, and I want to say that this is going to be a continuous section break. All right, so think about section breaks as sort of documents within documents. So it's the same document, but it's going to have sort of the separate properties for that document. Okay, excuse me, for that section. So I click on this, and not a whole lot happens. But if I scroll up, you're going to see that there is in fact a section break here. Now, when I try to make this page into a different orientation, you will see it is now separate from this. Just like that, because of this section break that I've created. Now, this one down below has the same section as this. Okay, and one way to verify sections, if you double click inside the footer part here, you can see it says section 1, this says section 2. Section 2, this is still section 2. So what I need to do is make this, I'm going to come back into here, double click, make this into another section. Okay, so same deal, I'm going to go over here to Layout, I'm going to go to Breaks, Continuous, and now this is a separate section now. So notice I have section 3, here's section 2, and up here is section 1. And I'm going to come back here to section 3 and make this back to portrait. And see, now that is separate from these. Okay? So they're basically just, again, these kind of separate entities. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and bring in the Walden map into this page where the landscape is, because I want to make it nice and wide. So I'm going to say Insert, Pictures, and make that really big and wide because I can. And then down below, this is just regular text. All right, now the other reason why you might want to work with section breaks is to have different headers and footers. Okay, so let me probably just get rid of this. Okay, good, so that's fine. Okay, is you might want to have different headers and footers per page, okay, per section. Could be for chapters of a book, something like that. So I'm going to come over to here, and I'm just going to type out, right, so this is going to be chapter 1, and then I'm going to put in the page number, okay, right at this current position. Okay, that's great. And then I'm just going to maybe hit tab, and then bam, there it is. All right, this is going to be page 3, and look up here, it says page 2, etc. And I come down here, and I notice that there is, it says chapter 1, and then this says page 4, but I don't want that. I want this to actually be its own thing. So this is very important when you're working with sections, is you want to tell it within the header and footer tab to not link to previous. So I'm just going to click on that, change this now to, let's just say, chapter 2. And I'm going to say I don't want a page number here, just hitting the backspace. And you'll notice that this is not affected by me changing this down here. Okay, because it's a separate section, and I've also said do not link to previous, okay? So follow those rules. There's a method to the madness. I know it can be a little bit clumsy and disjointed, but if you follow these rules, you'll be able to make separate sections with their own separate header and footer elements very easily, okay? But just kind of take it slow and then do all of what I've outlined here and you'll be fine. All right, so that's working with section breaks, changing all of the orientation elements within it, making each page have different orientations with section breaks, and then also working with footer and header elements, and then making sure that you uncheck link to previous so it's not inheriting from the prior sections. All right, so hopefully this was helpful for you. Any requests or questions for me, find me on my YouTube channel. You can also find me on my LinkedIn page and also at my website, sftechtraining.com. You can email me through that. All right, see you in the next video.